Had's Bazaar, that little tiny shop, about 12 years ago. The clothes were very good, but I think really she sort of became more well-known when she did the miniskirt and all that, which I think I inadvertently started in Australia.
Something as simple as a miniskirt can go a very long way. We see this evident in the British subculture, also known as the mods. Mods found gateways such as fashion as an outlet to reject and rebel against the conservative culture of their parents' time. Hence, the first referred to name as the modernists. Particularly, of the mod scene in London, fashion designer Mary Quant had no clue she was about to define, influence, and revolutionize an entire generation of youth. Although there has been questioning of who exactly should be credited for the invention of the miniskirt, Quant credits the popularity to the girls who bought it from her boutique and wore it out in public. The skirt was hemmed up 6 to 7 inches above the knee to provide a more comfortable wear.
Because in a way I think we somehow anticipated the next mood. At the time I thought I was designing for myself and a few sort of people I knew who tended to live around Chelsea. And when the three of us, Archie and Alexandra and I, started this boutique, we were doing what we wanted to do, and we were protecting ourselves in this particular area of London, which seemed to have sort of way of life, and there were enough people that we enjoyed and who lived in the sort of way we wanted to live, and lived in the clothes we wanted, and so on. And this was the approach. None of us realised that we were in fact anticipating something which was going to be general and widespread, and that people were going to come from other countries and buy the clothes and manufacture them abroad.
The miniskirt became a prominent feminist symbol of rebellion during the 60s. With Quant's style of bright colors and bold patterns, the skirt came to represent the freedom and liberation synonymous with the mod culture, and with it, the decade of the 60s. The youth wanted to be liberated from the same old trends worn by older generations. They wanted something new, something youthful, and Mary Quant was the one to deliver.
She was the first designer to create sensational clothes for the young at unsensational prices. But why is fashion important?
Fashion reflects all the time attitudes, politics, the whole way of life. That's really what it's about. It's a very instant reflector.
In bridging together fashion and protest with the 60s mod subculture and scenes, we see that yes, fashion has been used as a mode of self-expression, but fashion can also be used as a mode of protest. The miniskirt's effect during the 60s is still quite significant and relevant to today's time, especially with certain conservative values being marketed as trends, especially online. We must not forget that we can rebel and protest with just the clothes we already wear. We must also remember the history behind the fashion. What was the significance towards choosing a particular article of clothing to wear? Why was such choice needed? And we must not, importantly, must not forget that fashion is political. As we get ready for the day, or as we gather inspiration online, we might want to examine how our self-expression can be used as strength and resistance against oppressive forces. The consumer culture and fast fashion produces the view in which our relationship with fashion is subject-object, simply consumed and thrown out. What if we saw not what fashion can do for us, but what we could do for it? By educating ourselves on the history of certain fashion styles, especially in relation to subcultures and their messages, we understand the subjectivity of what we wear and thus learn to make conscious choices for the environment, ourselves, and our future.